parts of a circle. So the first thing we're going to look at is something called the center. Now, the center, by definition of a circle, is the point exactly in the middle of the circle. And so this point here that we've drawn, we can mark it as the center. So we've got another circle. Now, something called the radius is the distance between the center and any point on the circle. So if we draw the center in and we draw a line from the center to any point on the circle, so not just this point, it could be anywhere on the circle, then that line is called the radius. We can also have something called the diameter. So by definition, the diameter is the distance between 2 points on a circle connected by a straight line that passes through the center. So if we draw the center in, then we can choose any 2 points on the circle, provided that we can join those 2 points with a straight line that passes through the center. So for instance, if we had one point here and we had another point here, then we could join those 2 points with a straight line that passes through the center. And so that line is called the diameter of the circle. And we spell diameter as diameter. We also have something called the circumference. So again, if we draw a circle, by definition, the circumference is the distance around a circle. So essentially, we're looking at this whole distance all the way around the circle. And that is called the circumference. And we spell circumference in the following way. Now, the next part is called a chord. So a chord is a straight line that joins any 2 points on a circle. So we've got a circle. These 2 points can be anywhere on the circle. So like the diameter, where we had 2 points on the circle, the difference with a chord is the line that joins the 2 points doesn't have to go through the center. So the line that joins the 2 points could go through the center. That would still be a chord, but we have a specific name for that. It's called the diameter. So for instance, if I choose a point here and another point here, and I join those 2 points together with a straight line, then that line that we've just drawn in is called a chord. We didn't have to have the 2 points there. We could have had any 2 points on the circle, provided that we join them with a straight line, then that line is called a chord. The next part of a circle is called a tangent. So if we have a circle, the tangent of a circle is a straight line that touches a circle at only 1 point. So any point on the circle, let's choose this point for instance, then if we have a straight line, this straight line supposedly touches this circle at 1 point. That point is here. And so we call this straight line a tangent. Following is not a tangent. So if we had something like this, you might think that this is a line that goes through the circle at 1 point or touches the circle at 1 point. But in fact, what we call this is a line segment. A line segment is part of a line. By definition, a line extends forever. So in actual fact, we would have to extend this forever. And so you would see that this line touches the circle at 2 points. And so therefore, it's not a tangent. Next part of a circle is called an arc. So by definition, an arc is a portion of the circumference of a circle. So for instance, if I was to just look at this shaded bit of the circle, it's a portion of the circumference, and so by definition it's called an arc. If we wanted to be more specific, so if I was to shade in the other arc that could be formed from this circle, then the bit shaded in blue, we can call this a major arc, since this is the majority of the circumference that we've shaded, and the bit in red we can call a minor arc, since it's not the majority of the circumference that we've shaded. We also have something called a sector. So a sector, by definition, is a portion of a circle enclosed by two radii and an arc. If we've got a center here, and then we've got two radii. So radii is just plural for radius. So for instance, one radius here, another radius here. Then the area that's enclosed, or the portion of the circle that's enclosed, so this portion here, we could call that a sector. And this bit we can call a sector. And similarly, if you look at the other side, we can shade this in, and this area we can call a sector as well. And if we want to be more specific, like the convention we used for arcs, the area that's more larger, or the sector that's more larger, is called a major sector, and the area or the sector that's smaller is called a minor sector. The final part of a circle we're going to look at is called a segment. So by definition, a segment is a portion of a circle enclosed by a chord. So if we have a circle and we have a chord, so remember, by definition, a chord is a straight line that connects any 2 points on the circumference of a circle. So here was our example of a chord. If I draw another type of example, so I'm going to choose this point and this point, then what we've got here is a chord, and we've got two separate areas. Those two separate areas are what we call segments. So if I shade in this bit here, then this bit in red, we can call it a segment. And similarly, the bit in blue, we can also call a segment. So those areas are called segments when we have a chord. If we want to be more specific, then this segment is smaller in area than the blue segment, and so we can call this a minor segment. And so the area in blue we can call a major segment, since it has a larger area than the area in red.